Hey, it's Levi with Henley's Happy Trails. SoftStartRV graciously sent us a soft start unit. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what soft start is, but before I do that, I'm going to unbox this. So this was the box that it was sent in, and I've already cut the side of the plastic to make this easy. So I'll take the lid off here. I want to interrupt this exciting video of me taking things out of a box to say a couple of things. First of all, we want to thank SoftStartUSA for sponsoring us with a SoftStartRV unit to try out and review in our own rig. Second of all, we got in contact with SoftStartUSA by camperreport.com. For a little over a month, we have been writing articles for camperreport.com. It's an RV newsy site that likes to keep you informed about things that are happening in the RV world. I got a little bonus installation kit. It comes with an installation and wiring diagram, and also it talks about the warranty. It looks like you look up online how to install this. On the internet they do say that it's easy to install yourself. And last but certainly not least, I have the actual soft start unit. So the soft start unit looks like it's about that big. Here's a human face size comparison. I have a wiring diagram on the front, and I've got five wires to install. Now, where does this go? First of all, it goes on your air conditioning unit of your RV. And what does it do? Well, I'm not an electrical engineer, so I'm going to read directly off the box. It reduces startup amps by 65 to 70%. Start your AC without a big or second generator. Sleep with less noise. And run your AC with more appliances. It is for 115 volt, 50 to 60 hertz motors and up to 3-ton compressors. No contractor or capacitor needed. Both are built in. So this is something that you can install yourself, and I'm going to go through installing that process. I have never installed one before, and I am certainly not an electrical expert. So if I can install it, and we'll see how this video goes, if I can install it, then you can. So you probably noticed that if you have a 50 amp RV and you plug it into a 30 amp plug, you're unable to run both of your air conditioners. Or maybe you have the coffee pot on and your air conditioner kicks on and it trips the park breaker. The reason for that is not that you can't run your air conditioner on a 30 amp. The problem is the starting amps. When your compressor on your air conditioner starts up, it draws a lot of power in order to get going. And so it creates this big spike in the amperage being used. What this device tries to do, or does, is flattens that curve, as you'd say. So instead of it spiking way up into a high amperage to start up that compressor, it actually levels that out so that you don't really get beyond the peak amperage usage of the AC unit. The result is it's less hard on the motor itself, and also it's less hard on the electrical components, and you are able to actually run multiple things. There's been reports of people that have 2 air conditioners, for example. Using one of these in a 30 amp plug, they're able to actually run both of their air conditioners, whereas without this, they were unable to. I actually did an article that talks about SoftStartRV, as well as I go into great detail on volts, amps, watts, and how the 50 amp electrical system works and why it's difficult to plug into a 30 amp system with a 50 amp. I did an article for camperreport.com, and I'm going to put a link to that article in the description of this video below. And on top of that, one other fun note about the soft start, an RV couple, I believe it was Gone with the Winds, and if I'm wrong, I'll edit this later. I'll put a link to their video as well. They actually ran their RV air conditioner off of their inverter and charging with solar power. And one of the things that the company that they did this with recommended, or the company that produced the inverter told them that if they're going to do that, the safest way is to install a soft start on their air conditioner so that you don't put a lot of work on the inverter. So I'll link to that video as well. Now I'm going to show you where to go to find the setup instructions for your SoftStartRV. As a note, when you decide to buy one of those, we would appreciate it if you would use the referral link softstartrv.com/RVLife to get one. But once you get to their website using that link in the description, you can click the support button up here at the top, and it's going to take you to a page that lists several different types of air conditioners. Now, I took the cover off of my air conditioner and looked at the model number and Googled it to make sure I knew the exact model of my air conditioner, and it is a Coleman Mach 15. So when I click that, it's going to take me to an instruction page. There's a video that SoftStartRV did that has some pictures and kind of walks you through the instruction process, or the setup process, but also there's a wiring diagram. Now, I know this probably looks like something that would be better read by an electrician, and to tell you the truth, it probably is much better understood by an electrician rather than you or me. But the wires being color-coded, while I was up there on my roof, I was able to pull this picture up on my phone and trace those wires to physical things like the compressor and the capacitor that it's talking about, and kind of get an idea as to where those wires were going. Now, on top of that, they do give you step-by-step instructions. And if you still need help there, they do have a support ticket program. You can click that and you can call them, or actually it'll send a ticket and they'll call you, which I plan to do. So let's start a support ticket and then go up on my roof and start cutting wires to my air conditioner in the middle of summer. What could go wrong? Well, upon getting to the top of my roof, I've noticed two things. One, I need to clean my roof. And two, just going to need a Phillips screwdriver to take off the cover of my air conditioner. I don't know if that's all you're going to need, because I don't know what every model of air conditioner looks like, but for mine, it's 4 Phillips screws. Another thing you can do when you get up here, I noticed I have a little bit of dust and grit on here. You can brush that off at some point. I will say be very careful because these blades here, you don't want to bend them or mess them up in any way, because that'll mess up airflow. So if you do want to brush this off, use a soft brush and don't try to really get in there and scrub, or you're going to mess it up. The first thing you need to do is figure out where you're going to mount it. It's got some sticky stuff on the back, but it comes with an installation kit that also includes some screws. But this will stick it well enough for installing it, and it actually looks like it'll probably stick it for a while. But you just have to find the best place to mount it. And mine happens to be here. You can mount it two ways. The first way is straight up and down, the other way is sideways. You don't want to mount it upside down because moisture can get in there and stay in there. And you want to mount it not to the venting side. You want to mount it to the back side somewhere. So, first step is to clean the area you're going to mount it. I'm using some Windex. You can use alcohol or whatever you want. But basically, make sure the area that you're going to stick it to is free of dirt and debris and dry. So I have the area clean. I'm going to peel off this red part here, which exposes the sticky part, and here's the fun part. Once you stick it, it's kind of stuck. So get it lined up about where you want it and stick it. I've got to connect these 5 wires, and I need to get to the capacitor compartment, and in my air conditioner, that is right here. Out. Okay, so I've taken it off, and that exposes my wiring I wanted to double check and make sure I knew what I was doing, so I actually called their support line, or sent a support ticket. They called me and went over the instructions step by step with me based off pictures I sent them. So I'm going to be going off of their instructions. The first thing I need to do is add the yellow wire where the red wire is. I don't know if you can see very well in here, but you'll notice this is my capacitor. I've got a red wire, I've got a white wire, and 2 yellow wires and a black wire. So this red wire is plugged in right here, so I need to add the yellow wire from the soft start to that. Now to get all of this done, I'm going to feed these in here through. Alright, so far the hardest part is getting the wires through that hole. Okay, so I've run the wires from the soft start through, and as I said, I need to find the yellow wire and plug it in. Now, there's an end here. I'm going to need to put a connector on there. And remember I said it came with this little installation kit. And the installation kit comes with these little ends. Put that in there, and then I'm going to crimp it right there. Once it's crimped, give it a tug, make sure it's secure. To be extra sure, I'm going to put some electrical tape on it. Okay, so the yellow one goes where the red one is. So I'm going to go ahead and run this, move these wires out of the way, and get just that yellow wire. And all this is going to get cleaned up at the end, all the wires, but I plug it right in there where the red one goes. So the next step is I take the white wire off in here. So in here you'll notice that there is a white wire, and I take the white wire off. So got the white wire, I'm going to cut it. Strip it. Was to take the white wire off and connect the blue wire to the white wire. The blue wire from the SoftStartRV, and the white wire goes to the compressor. And I'm going to use a wire nut here to put those two together. So the white wire with the blue wire, and connect that or tape it up, especially since this is a screw-on nut. So I have the white wire now connected to the white wire from the compressor, connected to the blue wire of the soft start. That's all wired up. The next step, which I have already added the connector to it, is to take the black wire from the soft start, and you want to connect that to where the white wire from the compressor once was, on this right hand side of the start capacitor. So now that I have it all wired up already, I'm just going to plug that in. There we go. Come on there. The next step is to take the black wire from the compressor. So here's the compressor. I've got the black wire right here, and I'm going to follow that. Looks like it's this wire right here. So it says cut it several inches to a foot. I'm going to keep it going through here, and I'm going to cut this right here. I'm going to use both ends of this black wire though for the last two wires. So double checking that I got the right one before I slice any wires. Okay, yeah, that's the right one. So I'm going to take that wire, cut it in half. I'm going to need to strip both sides of it. And that is the side that the brown wire from the soft start goes into. So I'll take this, twist it up, make sure it's in there good. Tape it. Alright, taped off that connection. And then here's the other end of that black wire that I cut in half. Let's strip that as well. And I got one wire left on the soft start. And that goes on this end of the black wire. And I'm going to put this screw nut on this one because that's what I have left in the package. But one note about screw-ons, if you have to use one, they can unscrew and come off. So it's very important to tape those connections up so that that does not happen. To tape those connections up so that that does not happen. Alright, that connection's taped up. Now, I've got all the connections on, and the next step is to turn the power back on and turn the AC on. And I'm going to move this camera over here onto the soft start. You'll notice right there's some LED lights on the bottom here. When I start this up and give it a few minutes, there's a green LED light that should illuminate. Okay. Nice. Alright, so green LED is on. The next step is we want to make sure this is actually working. So if I feel this end, this feels really hot. One of them, and this is the one that goes to where the heat vent is. And this one is cold, which tells me the compressor should be working. So after installing, you do have the mess of wires to contend with, and you do want to make sure those are fairly clean. Fortunately, the installation kit comes with a few zip ties to help you do that. So I bunched these up just because it was a kind of a rat's nest there, and that keeps them, you know, all in one contained area. I've got these wires coming through here which are stationary, so I'm zip tying those to the stationary ones. That way I'm not really going to get too much back and forth movement here, and everything can tuck nicely in. And snip off this one. So that looks much cleaner, and the next step is to put this plate back on, which after lying in the sun is sizzling hot. Note, don't do this on a day that it's 90 plus degrees. Alright, so we have screwed that back in, everything's connected, looks clean, and the only thing left to do...
And I cleaned the other side.
And we did clean the other side. The only thing left to do would be to come back and put the screws in the sides here. I'm not going to do that right now because it is hot, and I can do that at a later time because it's not going anywhere. And I want to see how it does in that position over the next day or two. So I can put the cover on, run my air conditioning. The soft start is plugged in. The air conditioner is still working and hasn't blown up or anything. I will say that the thing that made the process the easiest was when I mentioned that I did that support ticket and they gave me step-by-step instructions. I was able to send them pictures through the support ticket system, and so the person who called me had pictures of what my air conditioner looked like, and he literally on the phone walked me through like step by step. I wrote down the instructions on the back of an envelope, and it was this wire to there, this wire to there, and I just followed that. Like, I literally didn't have to know what I was doing as far as how it worked. I just had to know what wire went where, and it was about 5 or 6 instructions, and it was super easy, and everything worked without a hitch, so that's awesome. So second of all, I wanted to talk a little bit more and mention exactly what this device does. This graph was produced and measured by Mike Sokol from RVelectricity.com. And as you notice, this particular air conditioning, the Penguin 215 kilowatt air conditioner, when it first starts up here in the red, you'll notice that it ramps way up to 52 amps. And then it drops down. This is within 150 milliseconds, though. So that is more than a 30 amp system can handle. So if you have 2 air conditioners and you plug into a 30 amp, it's not going to withstand 2 things spiking up to 52 amps at one time. And this is what causes the heat to build up in the system and the breakers to trip and the problems to happen. Also, if you have a 30 amp system, your air conditioner, whenever the compressor starts, it's shooting up to that 52 amp peak. Now, that yellow curve that you see here, this is the SoftStartRV. And you'll notice that it slowly kind of ramps up a little bit, and then it levels off, and the highest it gets is 24 amps, so approximately half-ish, a little more. I'm going to let this run for a few days and test it out, and I'll let you know what my thoughts are. Okay, so I have had my SoftStartRV running for a few days, and I have run a couple of tests. And as a note, I have a 30 amp RV or a 30 amp motorhome, and previously, before installing the SoftStartRV, I was unable to run my air conditioner, electric water heater, toaster oven, and coffee maker all at the same time. I would definitely trip a breaker. And for the last 3 mornings making breakfast, I have kept my electric water heater on with the air conditioner running, and I made breakfast as usual, put the coffee maker on, toasted bread. It's been hot here, so the air conditioner was turning off and turning on throughout that process, and I was able to run all of those no problem. So it definitely, pretty much the only difference, the variable was the air conditioner, the SoftStartRV, as far as that goes. So it definitely uses less amps. So I can tell you that if you install this product, you will probably be able to run more items than you could before, while simultaneously with the air conditioner running. Also, it stands to reason, this allows for smaller generators to be used. In some cases, normally you would need a generator that's well over 100, 120 pounds to power a large RV air conditioner, and you can use much lighter generators and still run an AC for those of you who like to boondock. So you might be, in the more 70 to 80 pound range instead of over 100 as far as a generator goes. And also for those 50 amp users who are forced to plug into a 30 amp plug every once in a while because that's all the RV park has. If you install these SoftStartRV units on both your air conditioners, you'll be able to run both of those ACs at one time on a 30 amp plug. So that is pretty awesome. So as far as I can see, the product definitely was easy to install, even though it sounded really complicated and it looked complicated when I got it. It has worked wonderfully, and my air conditioner is quieter with it on. I wear hearing aids in both ears, so I wouldn't necessarily notice that, but the first thing that Natalie said when we turned it on was, oh wow, it's much quieter. So we didn't have that thump of the that compressor kicking on. So if your air conditioner wakes you up in the middle of the night when it starts up, it may not do that. It'll definitely be quieter. So it's a great product. I am very happy with it, and I once again want to thank camperreport.com for getting us in contact with SoftStartUSA, and I want to thank SoftStartUSA for letting us try out one of these products. Now, once again, when you're going to buy a SoftStart RV, we would appreciate it if you would use the link in the description below. But if you need me to say it, it's SoftStartRV.com/RV Life. And I hope this video was helpful to you in some way. And if it was, or you have any questions, leave a comment in the section below this video. Once again, check us out on camperreport.com, henleyshappytrails.com, and of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos and click the bell icon so you get notified when we upload more stuff. Thanks, and happy trails.